purpose of this session is to discuss and demonstrate a new tool introduced in Vicinity 2.10. Prior to Vicinity 2.10, Vicinity offered a query-only tool called VicinityView, and it's been in the system for a number of years. This tool allows read-only access to data using views that Vicinity created and provided to the user. In 2.10, we're providing a tool called VicinityView Console that will allow a user to create their own views and also modify those views as time goes on. In this case, I have created a view called Demo Batch QC. It's a very simple query. It's just there joining the batch headers table with the batch QC results table. The idea is a user would then be able to query QC test results by formula, by date range, even for that matter by yield, giving the user more capability of seeing test results. This is just one example of a view. Any data in Dynamics as well as in Vicinity, or for that matter any other SQL Server database can also be accessed in a Vicinity view. And I'll be showing you this tool in a few moments. The queries that ship with Vicinity are still here, as seen under Planning, Product Development, Production Control, Quality Control. All of these views were created by Vicinity, and they have been shipping with each version of Vicinity. When we upgrade from one version to the next, we will only be upgrading or maintaining the Vicinity created views. The user's views would still stay intact as the user created them. So with that said, let's take a look at the new tool called VicinityView Console. And I'm going to go on in and modify an existing view. Of course, you would go into Create. I'm going to go ahead and pick up an existing view that I've already created to talk about some of the selections. Now, one of the first things I do on the right-hand side is I'm telling the system what tables are included in this view. And I've got a drop-down capability, and what the system is doing is looking at all tables that are available within the system. These, of course, you'll have access to all the tables in Vicinity, but you'll also have the access to Dynamics tables as well. Once I've identified my tables, in this case I've got two tables represented in my query, I would just use the Join tab to tell the system how these two tables are related to each other. This is a pretty simple join. I'm joining facility ID as well as batch number. And when I join those two together, now I can specifically identify here are the QC test results that are associated with this specific batch. The remaining columns help me identify what columns I can see in Vicinity View. On the right-hand side are the columns that I want to default as soon as I open this view. What are the standard columns and in what order do I want them to be presented? On the left-hand side are all of the fields that are available to me on those two joined tables. These are the remaining fields that I haven't put in the view for the batch headers, and these are the remaining fields that I haven't put in the default columns from batch QC results. When I go to additional columns, these are all the columns that I can pick from that are beyond the defaults. So the default tab is telling me what columns are there automatically, but then I can also pick from these columns. If I'd like, I can go through every field and set up a format. You might control decimal precision, you might control length, width, whatever. You can control all of that on a field by field basis. And then finally I can restrict only certain records. In my example, I might want to restrict for only batches that have been ops closed, in which case I can just simply say add, go pick up my field name, in this case the processing stage, and I can tell the system that I want it to say I only want the field where the processing stage is ops closed. And when I do that, I've now got a filter that is automatically in place when I create my view. And then finally what the system will do is preview the selection of those records. In this case, all I'm seeing are ops closed records. Here are the default columns that we saw in a previous tab, and then my additional ones would be created as well. So in this case, I hit finish and the system is asking me what do I want to call it. In this case, I called it demo batch QC. Once the save is done, the VicinityView query is available to be seen. So if I go to VicinityView, there's my demo batch QC, and it has already filtered out the records that I had identified. So this is only looking at ops closed batches at this point. So we hope this is helpful to you. VicinityView console is available as a standalone application. You can load it on any machine you would like. There's no licensing associated with it, and so the changes will show up immediately in VicinityView within Vicinity. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.